very first version of this movie started out in the Old West with a Western opening. The very first pass from the original treatment was more of this kind of spaghetti Western classic. Woody, the lone cowboy riding on Bullseye, comes into town, Buzz Lightyear from space, and he lands and they have a one-on-one confrontation. And we would see all of our toys up in the windows, and Slinky was in the water trough hiding. That idea came from what was also originally in the script, is Woody and Buzz actually had more of a face-off during the prison escape. That Buzz, being a deluded minion of Lotso, still under his power, would try to stop Woody and they would have a battle. And the original concept was Woody uses the power of friendship to make this deluded Buzz turn back to himself and realize that I've been switched over. And so the real Buzz inside him, the kernel of real Buzz, flipped him over, which wasn't a bad idea. Through the course of developing the movie, that went away. So this kind of holdover of this slow-paced kind of Western opening didn't necessarily need to be in the movie. And we realized, God, it would be so much cooler if we just started this movie off with a bang. We just really went in there and really had something that just had a ton of energy, had a ton of excitement, showed how cool it is to see these toys, and to recognize that it's been a lot of years since people have had a chance to see Buzz and Woody. Let's just do something that's really awesome. So we went back to the drawing board and realized, okay, if we scrap this kind of classic, slow-paced Western opening, what can we do? And the idea came up of, well, let's realize what Andy's playtime is. What does it feel like to be played with as a toy? Let's fully realize an Andy playtime. Let's recall the past playtime. So we used dialogue from old Andy playtime, and the first incarnation after this kind of Western showdown was the very first line from Toy Story 1 was, "This is a stick-up, don't anybody move."
All right, everyone, this is a stick-up, don't anybody move.
And so if people got it and were Super Toy Story geeks, they got it and they liked it. If people didn't, it would work as its own. And that's what drove us. And so that gave us, Slinky with the force field and our giant dinosaur that eats force field dogs. Then we started adding stuff. We started adding crazy stuff like Mrs. Potato Head being a ninja, the pink Corvette as a getaway car, the exploding bridge, and then we kind of started to expand. So it became a version of playtime, some of which we've seen and some of which we just happened off screen.